How is up, everybody? It's your boy, Choopy Choosy, back in the clack with another extreme stream. Hey, listen, man. Faye fam, right off the muscle, I gotta say, I am not a huge mobile gacha game connoisseur. In fact, the only reason I find myself drawn to Fire Emblem Heroes and the sole impetus for which I devote, and delight myself to producing fake content is because I see it as a celebration of my favorite game franchise. So it's no surprise an aspect that initially drew me to this game was the throwbacks and subtle nods to the mainline series. And subtle nods. And subtle nods. Okay, this one hurts me, but it's tasteful. However, there is one detail that the devs for Faye go above and beyond with, and that is their dedication to taking classic, iconic maps found throughout the storied history of Fire Emblem and condensing them down into portrait aspect ratio 6x8 mobile goodness. I mean, they really didn't have to do this. They could have been like, oh, we need maps? Okay, how about this? Hear me out. We take one wall. And then a second wall. And that's it. Okay, I guess they did take that route for a few maps, didn't they? But honestly, I still, to this day, always find myself cracking smirk after smirk whenever a new map comes around that does take me back to those games that I love and have such fond memories for. So today, I'm going to be taking a look at a few maps that made the move to mobile and figure out whether it was done with finesse or folly. Now, my criteria here is going to be based on two bearings. One, reference. Is this translation faithful to the original map? And two, playstyle. Does it maintain the feel of the original map? And with that, folks, let's get right into it. One of my favorite maps in the series from one of my favorite games of all time. Chapter 1 of Genealogy: The Holy War, Girl of the Spirit Forest. Now this map throws tons of new mechanics at the player, such as enemy recruitment, multiple squad management, status ailments, and terrain utilization. For the first chapter of a game, this might seem like an unreasonable amount of concepts to digest. However, the map itself is an incredibly linear affair. You're literally just following a path that goes clockwise around this gigantic lake, so you never feel lost in the grand scheme of things, despite the map's size, and in turn, you're able to centralize your attention to each individual scenario the game presents to you in a manageable, sequential format. Alright, so let's run this bish through the patented Fire Emblem Heroes Micro Machine. Oh wait, hold on. Patented Fire Emblem Heroes Micro Machine, and see what the devs at Intelligent Systems cooked up. Okay, well, Verdean Lake is now Verdean Puddle. Global warming is a real thing, flat earthers. Okay, all joking aside, you gotta give the devs credit for taking a map that was originally 64 by 64 and making it fit in your Palm Pre or whatever it is you kids are using these days. So does this map succeed in reference to the original map? Well, yes and no. At first glance, this map doesn't scream Verdean to me, again, mostly because of the size of the lake, but also, I have a problem with the placement of Ira. It's supposed to correlate with her spawn from Genoa Castle, then it should really be more over here. Now, I know this is a nitpick, but look at the other enemy spawns. Deidre is dead on exactly where her recruitment occurs in the game, and Sigurd is right by her side to let her know that it doesn't matter what some old prophecy says, as long as they love each other, there's nothing to fear. Right? And look at Talchu, I always knew she was secretly Sandima. I mean, if you could wield Dark Siege tomes the whole time, why didn't you just tell us, girl? Obviously, I'm being facetious. This is a great nod to the exact placement of the final boss as it correlates to the source map. Which brings us to playstyle. Does this map play like its daddy? Not even close. There's really nothing stopping you from enemy face tanking that unbuffed Blade Tome Talchu and going around counterclockwise instead of traversing the whole map like in the original. If I were to modify to encourage a clockwise flow, I would extend this water dick here, and fill in this area with trees. Not only would this encourage you to route the map in the same fashion as the original, but it would also be more representative of this impassable thicket of trees between Verdean and Verdean. So all in all, I rate this map a respectable fail! Next up is another one of my favorite maps in the whole series, from Fire Emblem, The Binding Blade, Chapter 11A, The Hero of the Western Isles. Now, the reason why I like this map so much is that it's just packed to the brim with incentives to push forward, take chances, and to roll the dice with the RNG. Houses with goodies are everywhere, along with a few thieves looking to snatch up those trinkets right off the front porch of your potential patrons. The best part about this map is that there are just so many ways to grind your gambit. You can break through this wall and be a backdoor man. You can abuse your flyer and send a few of your units right into the fray here. You can make a beeline on the opposite side of this wall and get to these houses lickety-splickety and take care of this pesky archer before he takes care of you. Regardless of how you approach this map, you just can't turtle, and the game makes sure you know this when they start sending the Roto-Rooter Cav reinforcements from under your spawn point. Okay, that's enough of me gushing. Let's put it through the micro machine and see what comes out on the other side. Right off the batty, I can't be catty. This is a very faithful recreation and reference to the OG map. I was able to make the connection instantly despite the obvious cosmetic downgrade. They don't have room for houses, I accept that. No houses. Fire Emblem, 0 houses. I mean, those breakable wall points are exactly where I remember them being. That pesky pokey archer is in full effect here. Klein is precisely where he would have spawned relative to the source map. And Sanaki is... Wait, why is Sanaki here? How does that make sense? She doesn't exist in the same universe. No, Awakening timeline isn't real. We all know that. Okay, so I'm being told that Sanaki shared a slot on the Sibling Bonds banner with Klein. And subtle nods! So that gets a pass, I suppose. Playstyle is not even close. In stark contrast to the high initiative design of the OG, this map is a Turtles Zion. It practically lets you choose whether you want a magic tank or physical tank for an opening. There's really no reason to play otherwise since you won't be able to break the walls and attack in the same turn either way. So for this map, it gets a strong to decent fail! Next up, from Fire Emblem 7, The Blazing Blade, Chapter 23X, Genesis. This map sucks. This map sucks. Oh, this map sucks. This map really sucks. Alright, let's put it through the micro machine. Now, honestly, this adaptation not only does a fantastic job of looking exactly like the source map, but playing exactly like the source map as well, which is why it fails! Next up is another classic. Actually, classic is a bit of an understatement. This map, to many, is Fire Emblem Incarnate. Path of Radiance, Chapter 11, Blood Runs Red. A pivotal map both in plot and tone. Layers of gray are caked on thick in this topical topography. The goal is simple. Get to the ship. A to B, and then to C. Pun intended. Like many of the best maps in the series, what makes this gem glint is not the presentation of the main objective itself, but the countless curveballs it throws at the player along the way. We got pyromaniacal thieves running amok, a very handsome Myrmidon with wavering loyalties, I bet his voice sounds sexy, a racist redhead that makes an appearance at the 11th hour, and on top of all that, the man who killed your dad shows up. Awkward! You probably want to avoid him, not just because the situation would be very uncomfortable for every party involved, but mainly because most of his stats are capped and he will one-hit KO any of your units. Yeah, I love this map, and I think that most people who have played this game love this map as well. But how will it fare when we run this baby through the patented micro machine? Look at this map. It is unmistakable what map is being referenced at first glance. Sure, they cut out a huge slice of this map, but honestly, I think it might be better because of it. They even made a unique house with a stable for this map. Apart from knocking it out of the park in the looks department, we have a sword infantry unit at the start to reference Zeark, and an axe flyer that spawns on the third turn to reference Jill's spawn. And of course, the Black Knight's coming out party at the center house with Umbella's ward, making him just as threatening and invincible as he was in Path of Radiance. Now, in terms of playstyle, this is a defense map in Heroes, so there is no endpoint to reach. You just need to survive the map in 6 turns to win. Despite having completely different objectives, this map still plays just like the original. This is mostly contributed to the fact that you will be doing your damnedest to get the hell out of Dodge and as far away from the BK as possible to survive the map. And the furthest point from looming obliteration is, you guessed it, where the escape point was on the original map. So all in all, this adaptation nails it and receives my coveted Juicy. Juicy's choice. Alright, and the last map we're looking at is a little bit of an outlier. Everyone in the Fey realm let out a collective, but why though? When we were informed Lyn would be getting a 5th alt in the form of Legendary Lyn, our initial reaction was then followed by a sinewy, the fuck am I looking at? When we saw she was a colored, colorless unit. But beyond her warm reception, we were made acquainted to a new unique preferred skill called Laws of Sakai, which got its namesake from a Binding Blade map of all things, a game where she's not even present in the cast. Not even one Lind is to be found. Oh wait, well there is that one. So what's the deal? Now this map is not really well known since it's a branching map late in a game that was never localized, but for those who did train up their Sus and their Shins, it's not easily forgotten. This map is a monster. It's filled to the brim with high-skill, high-speed nomads that thrive in FE6's hit rates. Also, for some reason, Wyvern Riders? Okay. Even if you manage to get through the cavalry and close to the throne for the final siege, you still need to deal with random reinforcements that spawn on these tents every other turn. It's the closest I feel Fire Emblem has ever come to Whack-A-Mole, so some people despise this map, but I personally like it a lot. I think it's pretty unique to have reinforcements spawn so close to the throne, preventing players from the old huddle up around the endpoint and take pot shots at the boss. Okay, you know what time it is. Let's micro machine it! This map was an instant click for me, despite it being only 1/4 of the original size. At this point in the game's life, Intelligent Systems had pretty much given up on trying to shrink entire maps to mobile, opting instead to fractioning off the most identifiable parts, and honestly, I think it's usually for the best, especially here. Reinforcements spawn next to the Sakaean huts since they're impassable terrain, and flyers come down from the northeast flank just like in the source map. But Choosy, you said this map isn't even from Lyn's game. Shouldn't this map fail in the representation department then? Well yes, but the fact they went to the trouble of making her legendary hero battle based off the map which her unique skill is named after, that's just the best kind of brownie batter in my opinion. And besides, she's Sakai, it's Sakai, we're all on the spectrum of being Sakai, so A+. A+ for playstyle too. You need to utilize that river between you and those nomads since it's pretty much open season all year on flyers in the plains of Sakai. This map really encourages you to push forward, not only to secure these choke points, but eventually to make your way down to these huts to evade flyer reinforcements. It's also very helpful to utilize those huts for spacing purposes. So yeah, I think this map is pretty freaking sweet. It goes above and beyond in both representation and playstyle, which is why it receives my coveted Juicy. Juicy's choice. Anyways guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Thanks for coming along with me to discover the mysteries of the emblem. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, y'all, stay frothy.